We got a girl named A, a girl named Bree, a girl named Karina with a K, not a C. We invite thee to come and speak. Talk about your life and your truth. What's the tea? No judgments here, so have no fear. We let that be known, yes, loud and clear. Come on, stay tuned. Log on to YouTube, see it all, hear it all. Here at the girls' room.
Hey everybody, I'm A Monet.
I'm Bree with a T.
And I'm Karina with a K, okay.
And we are the girls' room.
When she do that, I be like, ooh, child, the ghetto. I swear to God, Nene leaks voices in my
How we doing?
See?
That's like it. I expect it, and then I usually go, oh, and I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, sometimes
I can't do that shit. So
roll your.
We're not gonna do that right now. So
that's just stop.
Our guest for today.
Hi, my name is Autumn Myers. I am the media correspondent for America Hates Us, editor-in-chief of the Queen Sessions, and community activist and music blogger.
Period.
That was right there.
in the building.
I love to be around other bloggers because, like, other bloggers understand. Like, they
How hard it is.
Yeah, I think being a woman in media, a lot of people don't even understand what goes with that. So a lot of times you're dealing with people who don't take you professional because they think, oh, she's just a girl who's just trying to get to celebrities. And it's like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm sorry. I'm not at NBA season. I'm not at the drafts waiting in line. Like,
Exactly.
I'm here to get a story and to understand you. And that's why I have the Queen Sessions where it uplifts women of color so much because there's so many stigmas against us as, like, we out here, we trying to just, like, get the bag and, like, scam and all this and that. And I was like, that's cute, that's you. But there's other women of color who actually, like, you know, working. We working hard. Like, you ladies.
Period.
Trying to get to it.
We can't sleep with nobody for these studio sessions. I wish. Nah.
Right. I know one person that's working real hard is Haley Bailey. Shout out to her.
Yes.
Shout out for the live. What is it?
For the
live action
Mermaid.
Disney.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Oh, excuse me. I'm so proud of her, but it was funny how they was getting her and Halle Berry mixed up. Oh my God. People are so stupid. Like, it just,
How?
it's just, I don't know.
Just because of the H and the
People
B?
was getting it mixed up, and Holly actually posted and was excited because she was like, I didn't know about the news. They said I'm casted for that, and it was like, no, not you.
The other
Other
one.
one.
The little girl.
I didn't even audition. Wow. Like, no shade, sis. We saw you in Catwoman. We think you should just stay your life.
Yeah. Even though I love that movie.
You love
I
Catwoman?
do.
It was
okay.
I really get
Okay.
into it when it's on. I don't know why, but I don't know how to take it.
It was
You
okay.
know.
Well, I'm like one of those, like, blurred, like, a black geek nerd. So I'll be like, this ain't got nothing to do with the comics. This ain't got nothing to do with the series. I'll be like,
That's why I enjoyed it because I'm not into comics.
Yeah, that's what
I was cute, you know.
Right,
I'll be like, the
that's it.
cat suit was sexy, though. She looked good.
She looked good. She looked
Working
fucking good. But no, shout out to Haley, but cause this girl got me into Grownish. So
Yes.
I love Grown
Their music's good, too.
Oh my
Beyonce
God.
Prodigies. Hello, that's a good
Listen,
title.
anybody who Beyonce is freaking
Mentoring.
Yes, I'm for it. I want to listen to it because Matthew knows he put something into these girls, and they are very talented. Like, people be trying to downplay, like, Kelly Rowland, and you know, people got mad because she was seen on the Chris Brown's post, I guess, saying something that was nice, like, spiritual, like, inspirational, and people started dragging her because they feel like every brown girl should take his comment, I guess, whatever. But some people are not insecure, and everybody don't really give a shit. Like, you know, people are gonna like what they like. So people's, like, trying to drag her to my, your music is this and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, the internet is so fucking cruel. Like,
First of all these girls that fell away, even if you had nice hair, you probably wouldn't have a shower with Chris Brown.
But
so
what
I
is
just need to
nice
realize
hair,
that, like,
though?
it's not.
that's why I said the same thing.
That's
What
up
is
for
nice hair?
question. Like, everybody's definition of good hair is different.
Yeah.
So,
So I posted something the other day. It was like this meme, but it said good hair is like healthy, it's not dry, and no split ends. All that texture stuff should go out the window.
Exactly.
And when I go because like I do curly hair advocate, and I talk about the Non-Discrimination Hair Act, because like as Black and brown women, we get discriminated for our hair, you know,
all the time.
And so I was talking about that, and a lot of people didn't even know that there's like this whole division between the beauty industry, even with the curls. It's like 3A or 3C, and it's like I never really like looked at the chart. And then they talk about 4C, but when we think about it, there's not too many like 4C or 4B representation in the beauty industry when we talk about curly hair.
Products are like for my hair, I just use Cream of Nature. That's it. I've tried to use Cantu. Cantu made my hair really dry. I'm like, what the hell is in Cantu that my hair? It's like it's so hard and it gets very annoying because it's like you start to feel like, well, fuck, you know. Hair is a lot for us women. It's our temple. So it's like when you're put down about your hair, let's be real, sometimes it does make you a little insecure and it makes you do question yourself. So I kind of get both parts of the argument. Like me and her agreed on. Chris should have just worded it a little different.
Or not worded it at all. Why do we need to know your preference?
Why are you dropping? Because we already questioning that you like multiracial, ambiguous. I hate that term. Racially ambiguous women.
I don't know why they made it a thing. You know. And then he tried to prove, like, he brought up the song back in the day he did with Sean Paul called Brown Girls or something like that. And I'm like, Chris, the fact that you feel like you have to do that just shows how one-sided you are. And we get it. You like the Caruccis and the Rihannas. You don't want them to be dark. We get it. But I feel like people, when they say something, whether it's ignorant or not, stand in your truth and own what the F you said. Because you can't take it back. You said it. So don't try to come back with more ignorant stuff to say. Because it's like, Chris, we already looking at you sideways from you beating on Rihanna. So let's try to.
He beat on Carucci?
And he still stalks her.
He's a little crazy. And Chris Brown.
But he had a whole relationship after
and he's
Carucci.
in a relationship right now with some girl who's supposed to be pregnant. The mess.
I thought it was the baby mama's pregnant again by him.
No, she's pregnant by somebody else. His baby mother. This is why Chris Brown never get blessed.
I don't know nothing about
like Chris. I feel like music is his thing, so music will never leave him because that's just him.
Right.
But look at his life. You're going down a downward spiral of shit. Your baby mother keeps trying to take you to child support every time she gets pregnant by somebody else. Like, it's just like, Chris, you're not happy. And this is why I don't get why people even try to go back and forth with him, because he's high majority of the time. So it's like, it's not really him. It's the coke and other whatever stuff.
He's on coke?
Girl, you don't see his pupils? They're
I don't be
always
looking
dilated.
at dilated pupils.
Wait, here's my thing.
You know what's funny? Because I'm not like... I'm not really a Chris Brown fan. Like, so I really don't care what goes on.
After Exclusive,
and it's bad because
I'm
a blogger, so you should care. But it's like
you shouldn't care about these people's personal lives. Because he showed us who he was when he threw a whole ass chair through Good Morning America and broke off.
Because you mad. Because you mad.
I'm sorry. He was done after that.
He's doing crack.
Crack is whack.
Coke.
Crack is whack. Crack is cheap.
What's that shit about the pupils? I gotta look at people's on.
Listen, I feel like okay, like when people like to say, "Oh, this person's on drugs," this person. I speak from a point of like I've been around people who use these type of drugs. Sometimes you start to research. How do people look when they're on meth? I research shit because I need to know.
Be aware.
You know when we live in New York.
Dope.
We live in New York City.
Be falling, but you never fall.
Yeah, that's.
See a lot of
we
people
live
like
in New York City, so I feel like as women, we have to defend ourselves all the time, and I like to know. How do people look when they're on certain drugs? So if I gotta beat the shit out of somebody, I can know their weak points and because they high. So you gotta hit them this type of way because it might knock them out a little bit. Like you just gotta know these things. But it's evident to see Chris Brown is using cocaine. Everybody use cocaine in the music fucking industry. I think
that's not true.
Selena Gomez, a Disney darling. These are rumors, but I believe it because she also hangs around that circle. And then also her kidney failed twice, and she had and you know what I mean. And it's just so like speculating because look at Demi Lovato. I think Demi Lovato, that's why she was blackballed for so long, because she exposed what was going on in Disney. They were passing on pills and all them for them to stay alive.
Look at Lindsay fucking Lohan.
Perfect example.
I know
another Disney darling.
I know that there are industry parties because I've been to
2 girls.
I didn't go to an industry party. I went to someone's house who had been at an industry party. He had a goodie bag, and in the goodie bag was drugs. And it was stuff that I've only heard of and never seen. He brought out the white stuff, and I was like, gotta go. I could see, if I was young and impressionable, I could see anybody could get sucked into that real quick. Because when you're young, especially Disney ages, you're young, you don't know how to say no to stuff. You're just like, oh, they're doing this.
I feel like when you're in the industry,
cool.
period. Look at Chris. Chris came into the industry real young. Real freaking young. So it's like, I get it. And then you have all this money, and then you're around all these dumbass, bad-spirited people. So you get sucked into doing whatever. But I feel like outside of the drugs and outside of us being around certain people, we all know right from wrong. Right. Chris know what he be doing is dead wrong, but he still do it. So I feel like we as thinking individuals who know right from wrong and who still learning to be better and do better, we need to not, you know, react to stuff like this. Like, people dragged it out for the past couple of days. Like, people drag out everything else, and it's like, stop giving him ammunition to act more ignorant.
It's like, we know who he is. Why are y'all still shocked?
For years.
Like, and honestly,
and I love him because his music. He put out some dope ass music. That'll never take that away from him. But I feel like I would never be cool with Chris Brown in real life. Like, he's super duper ignorant, and just to say stuff like that is like,
I mean, if we look at history through time, and Henry Belafonte, like, you know, famous, like one of the first like black actors to really get on from Carmen and everything. And so he even said like he'd rather be with a white woman because his career would advance more. Like, if you look at history throughout time, like black male like actors, actors, musicians, even from like, you know, before we even were walking on this earth, since the 30s when we were starting to get the spotlight, they always like geared towards white women. They favored them.
Once they get famous and
get all
this money.
And you see that because it's like, okay, well, that's in their circle, and they feel like that can advance them. So for like Chris and all of them, and you look at the type of girls that go to the parties and things like that, who is mostly at these parties getting in, because that's who security is getting in. And that's what I say, like, yo, check your light skin privilege. Like, I know I'm a lighter shade, and I check it all the time because I'm very aware, especially like as a black woman. You have to be aware. And so to see all this go on, it's like, this isn't new. This is what the industry has ever, like, forever perpetuated for, like, women. You know what I mean?
It's sad. It sucks, and it's sad, and
well, he said what he said. It's over now. Like, what they gonna do? He ain't gonna take it off the song. He ain't gonna redo the song again.
Not the whole album.
It's just that part. It is what it is. Let's get into Lala and Carmelo.
Child, the cat's all together.
Carmelo was allegedly. Carmelo, no, allegedly.
He did it.
He was seen on a yacht with the lady. That's
shout out. Let me tell you something. Shout out to Fee from Gossip in the City, because she's always dropping the tea, the official tea. Because sometimes you can't even trust TMZ, but Fee was the first blog to post it, and then after she posted, here go Mello making a little Snapchat video. Oh, it's crazy how y'all trying to say I'm with another woman, that's somebody's wife, y'all disrespecting their marriage. No, you're disrespecting your marriage. First of all, you've been disrespecting your marriage. Like, Mello, I just feel like, first of all, let's talk about the baby. That's number one. Let's get into that. Because nobody talks about that.
He has a baby.
And I get it because a lot of these blogs, they're cool with Lala and all that. But let's
also, she got hush money. You know, she has an NDA. A whole NDA. She's
nobody
not gonna
talks about it.
Oh, the baby mama?
They give them NDAs once, like, shit, I mean, excuse my language, once stuff pops off in the media.
She don't talk about it too much.
Yeah.
She don't. You catch your hammer in there. Fee, let me Gossip in the City. Shout out to you, Fee. Fee catches it all the time, because I be like, who is the baby mother? Like, why I can't find her page? But Fee got people following her. And one time she did post, like, somebody asked her, like, how do you, like, do Mello check on the baby? She was like, what we're not gonna do, we're not gonna downplay him or whatever the case is, but I wish he was around more. Like, first of all, she's well educated, that's number one. So I was like, okay, Mello, at least it wasn't a little thirsty side chick.
Yeah, she's an RN apparently, like, you know.
She has a degree. I did hear that. And then she posted the other day when the pictures of him and my yacht came out. She was saying how, like, oh, it's funny how he can be out here doing this, but you can't check in on your daughter. And I'm like,
oh, see. The tea.
So where did this all come up about Lala supposedly not letting him see his daughter?
That was all in the blogs. That was like
I don't even know if that's true, because
they said allegedly Lala wasn't.
Sis said he wasn't seeing a baby, but I just feel like, still in all, what's
Wait, so are they together? I'm saying.
I think Lala's keeping him at like arm's length because
Yeah.
she took her son as her date to the BET Awards,
I thought
and she's only like showing pictures of her son. Before you would see pictures of Mello
All
and
of
stuff,
them.
Yeah.
but now it's like I think she's in that very much.
She's almost done.
Yeah, she's like that done phase. Like, when Kevin Hart's wife and Nico found out about the whole scandal and then she deleted all them photos of Kevin for a little bit and all that, and they had to go to therapy. Same thing with Beyonce and all this. I feel like she's in that phase of like angry, trying to have her like next life
But they
revelation.
said she's
and all
filing
that.
for separation now legally, so they
She
can be legally
should.
separated. I'm like,
She
she
know a
needs
dog
to be
is a
out
dog.
here. Period.
A dog.
The dog is a dog. I was like,
Period. I
wish
feel like she needs a better man. Lala is too successful and too like she's dope.
Wait,
as
so
fuck.
y'all don't think Carmelo's good for her?
No,
I think his ego's hurt. I think his ego's hurt because she has this whole like rise. Because there was a time where she was quiet for a minute. She wasn't doing
And it
as
was
many
just
hosting
him.
gigs and stuff. And then he was like gunning for that ring and everything like that. But then all this drama happened with the Knicks. And then she was on Power doing nude scenes. And I heard he was very much against that. But she was like, this is my job. Like, this is what I'm doing. Again, these are all just rumors.
I believe that he was against that.
I just feel
I would have
like-
been against it too.
But
She was
also,
naked.
I
He
don't
should
know.
be against,
She
women
is.
with their whole cheeks out, just like posing with their whole area just
Like-
exposed while they're next to him and stuff. I don't care whose wife you are.
Yes.
The whole ass is out. You don't even see them around those kind of people.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, yeah, news scene, but she got a check from it, and she got notoriety, and she got respect as an actual actress.
That's a fact.
And I was like, you looking at this, but you're not looking at the fact that this is your woman's passion.
Yeah.
So
she gonna have to
it's
do
your
what she
ego.
wanna do.
Your ego got bruised.
But then you want to go out there and make a whole baby
But
with somebody else.
And you think she's supposed to stay?
Stay? That's OD.
You know what's crazy? I follow besides following you and your empowerment page, I follow so many other ones, and one of them posted a meme of like, asking ladies, how would you feel if your husband got someone else pregnant, but he still wanna be together, you don't want to leave him, this and third. And I honestly said, listen, I've never been in those type of situations, those type of shoes, but I would need endless counseling, endless, because laying next to you, I'm gonna want to punch you out your sleep all the time. I gotta think about this and this baby, and I gotta think that you gotta go over there and yeah, I have to go to therapy.
Listen, God bless you and your new family. You have a beautiful
crazy.
union. Y'all already y'all go. Y'all good to
Wow.
go. So have a nice life.
Y'all know that movie Fences with
didn't
Octavia
watch it.
Spencer?
I didn't see it,
and-
but I know what you're
No.
talking
I see,
about.
and I feel like they end up having a baby at wedlock with some young girl from the shop, and his wife has been holding him down because he became the first like black truck driver, and so she was like encouraging him, pushing him, and of course I guess he was seeking something else. But then when he passed on, the wife had to raise the baby, and then the son said something about that, and she's like, "Look, this is just what women do. This is what we have to do. This is our family, whether we like it or not." And I'm just like, for those who have blended families, like it must be really hard to know that, wait, this is my son or daughter's like sibling.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, like they deserve to have that relationship, and you have to learn how to be the type
That's
of
like
woman.
Alicia Keys and
I was just thinking that too.
But
Yeah.
I don't have to stay with you.
No, you don't have to.
You don't, but
stay.
some certain people, like with Alicia Keys and Mashonda and Swiss, you can tell that it's a friendship, and they all had to be grown.
They friends?
Yeah, they all vacation together. Mashonda always
They friends
over
maybe
there.
now.
Yeah, they weren't because
When
she was
on
loving hip hop.
Yeah, it wasn't. She was
in a
against it,
abandoned
but
house and
she was. I feel like they say now, reality TV is scripted. I feel like a lot of that is
But that's not the
scripted
same as having a
because.
baby with somebody else and like staying with
I
that
mean,
man.
they
who had
said
babies.
Alicia Keys ruined that.
No, I get that. But now he's with Alicia.
Yeah.
It's not like he stayed with Mashonda and they're
But they
raising a
said
baby.
Alicia Keys ruined him and Mashonda.
A woman can't
That's what
ruin
I
Swiss
heard.
still had a baby in the UK while he was messing with Alicia and Mashonda still. Y'all ain't hear about that? That ain't my business. But yeah,
hear about that?
he has a whole nother baby in the UK.
You know what? I feel like what's the point of getting married these days? Like nobody even
But you can look at those
career.
marriages and say, what's the point? Your marriage is your marriage.
I don't know, but because I feel like people like I always say, we all know right from wrong, but it's like I feel like once you get married, granted, people fuck up, make mistakes, but it's like after the first, second, like, y'all, like, you're not respecting the commitment. Like, we stood in front of God and we said these vows, and I just feel like, you know, I'm not saying give up so easily, but it's like, if it's so easy for you to fuck up, what did we do? What did we exchange these rings for? Like, what the hell? Like, and I get it, people's gonna fuck up. That's why I said, for me, I would have to take therapy, because, you know, people fuck up. Our mothers fuck up. Our sisters fuck up. Our brothers fuck up. What's the difference if we're in a marriage? Like, what's the difference? Like, are we really gonna just walk away that easily because one of us made a mistake, or are we gonna actually try? We're gonna, you know, like, in situations like that, like, whoa, like, you're a repeat offender, and you don't need to be married again. You need to figure out what happened.
You need to go to therapy.
Yeah,
you need to figure out. Y'all saw that man, Ayana, Fix My Life.
Yeah.
He had 70-something kids or something like that.
Oh shit!
I didn't see that one.
Wow.
He had like a bunch of babies. It might not have been 70. It might have been like 30.
Even
but it's
if
still a
it's
lot.
20,
It's still a lot.
That's a lot of kids.
What he was on the show for? What he was trying to fix?
No, the women were trying to fix him. The women were trying to fix him because he was married, stepped out on this woman, then stepped out on this woman, stepped out on
First
this
of all,
woman.
you with a man and he done stepped on everybody he ever been with.
Exactly. What
That is on you.
Like, what is he trying to fix?
That's on you.
They were trying to sit that man down.
No.
Apparently, he had mother issues and all this, and that's what I'm saying. Advocate.
That is his problem. You know why?
She said that.
I don't mean like 30 kids.
Well, I'm not finna be one of your castaways. Like, oh, I'm just put a baby in you and then put a baby in you and then put a baby. No.
Dropping babies off every.
But how deep was his mommy issues?
It was deep. Clear. He didn't feel like loved. He didn't feel appreciated. I think there were, and I could be wrong, but he was actually sexually abused as well.
Wow.
This is why I advocate for men more so to go to therapy than us, because women, we check ourselves. We know we need to sit back and take some seats and actually reevaluate ourselves and go to therapy. But men, it's like you're
ego,
like punching a hole.
Yeah.
Like it's like trying to crack an unborn.
Their pride is way too high. Like, I was
And
on
then
the phone.
it's okay for women to be emotional, but for men, it's like you're emotional.
Right.
And as soon as they show their emotions, and when we're not being sensitive to it, we're this, we're that. Oh my God, you wasn't there for me. But when I was encouraging you to go talk to someone, so somebody who's trained to be there for you and help you, like, what's going on? Like, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. He's been my friend for years. I tell him now, like, in real life, I go to therapy. He's totally against it. Oh, I don't get why people pay to go talk to somebody that they don't even know. And I'm just like,
it's helpful.
Because I can't talk to my mother, I can't talk to my father, I can't talk to my sister.
Because it's
I can't even
biased,
talk
too.
to you. So who the fuck else am I supposed to talk to? You know, and everybody say talk to God. I feel like you have to be spiritually inclined to really sit and have a conversation with God and feel like, you know, I'm really, you know, I'm getting it. I'm feeling healed. So I feel like people have to stop looking at therapy as just that, oh, you're going to talk to, you're paying to go talk to somebody you don't even know. No.
You're talking to somebody who's actually medically trained to understanding the whole psychology of the brain. Exactly. And it's like, and if it was so against God, then why did God incline people to have these skills and talents and these passions? And that's what I be saying when, like, old school church folks be like, we don't be telling our business, and that's why so many girls up here are scorned and they raped and they abused and they don't even know how to advocate. That's why so many men are abusing women, or like hurting and harming themselves, and kids are out here committing suicide and everything.
Because if people are trained to be seen and not to be heard,
right?
And it's so bad that in the black community, that's a norm. Like, no, you have to be seen and not heard. Don't be... Like, I get the whole purpose of not being around it when adults are talking. Yeah. I get that. But certain conversations need to be had. Conversations about, you know, sexually transmitted diseases. Conversations about the LGBT community. Conversations about just sexual health, period. Mental health. These are conversations that you need to have in front of your children. You need to have with your soulmate. You need to have with your job. Like, these, it needs to just be like what I was working in the medical field. We have to go to certain trainings about mental health and how to de-escalate situations, stuff like that. That needs to be happening in all type of customer service jobs, because you never know what type of people's gonna walk through your business doors and what you have to deal with. And you know, these are conversations that need to really, really, really be happening. And I'm happy that you are an advocate and you, talk about stuff like this, because it's not happening. It's like,
and that's what I love. Like with A-Hus, America Hates Us, and the Queen Sessions, like that's what I love. Like, because there's so many people you don't even know they're going through it, and then you just talk about something or you share your experience and the articles that I write, and they're like, I love this, I went through this and this and this. And then there's so many like domestic abuse survivors out here, you know, sexual abuse survivors, or people who had somebody in their life that committed suicide, but they don't have nobody to talk to, because again, like we're just now breaking this norm that therapy and mental health is a real thing, right? Because we come from like, all of us come from generations of parents who are like, that's not, you know, we don't share our business in the streets, like that's nobody's business, we keep it what stays in the house, you know. And I just even think growing up too, like my mom, she's a nurse, and she even believes that, and I had to have a conversation with her, and I was like, Mom, no, like if there's something that emotionally like is messing or things like that, we can't, like, especially as women, keep pushing through it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there was this one episode of the Carmichael show where the mom said she had the blues, and it was like Loretta Devine's character, and then she would just randomly cry, and they were having a convo like, no, Mom, like you're depressed, you're having depression. She's like, why am I depressed? I have all these nice things and this and this. But it was like, but do you feel fulfilled in your life? Like, and those are conversations that we don't have.
Exactly. That's
speaking about you writing, you are the writer and correspondent for America's Haters. Tell us about that. Like, how did you get started into that?
So the Believe Woman button.
Look out, button.
So as somebody who sexual abuse survivor, you know, and also like advocating for a lot of women and everything to speak their truth, I found the Believe Women, and this was like when the brink of the Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby case. So I met with them in 2016 or early 2017. And so I interviewed them for the Queen Sessions, and the co-founder, like T, he basically was like a really cool, heart-spirited person. And then he was like, look, we're doing something where we're taking 160 plus black and brown girls to see A Wrinkle in Time, because nobody was doing that. Everybody was taking like these black boys to see Black Panther. But again, like black girls and brown girls, we left out the conversation.
Exactly.
So we were doing that, and I volunteered, and I saw like the amazing light between everything, and I was like, you know, I would love to guest write, let me know. And then he was like, no, like you should be on the team. And then ever since then, we just been doing events and panels. We had a Woman of Color panel where we had different women from different like ethnic backgrounds and career backgrounds come together, and then it turned into like this beautiful moment, because usually when you go to networking events, people like they just on their phones and this and this. But it was like people were crying, people were sharing their truth. Somebody was telling us that she was battling her suicidal thoughts. It got that deep. Somebody was telling us about she escaped a domestic relationship. And we just women sharing our career goals and how we got there. And there was a lot of moms in the room, and I feel like we always leave moms out the conversation, like especially single moms who have to go through so many adversities of like, I want to have my career, but I have to raise my child too. And so that's really been drawing me into it. And then we talk about things that society and media we shy away from, like, because we need a trend in society, but Tamir Rice and Sandra Bland and Eric Gardner and all these cases that we see. So we had the Blue Lives Murder, and it was big, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is like big, because I never like, you know. And but then we put the shirt out, and then so many people are behind it, because there's so many like police brutality cases happening, and we see it now thanks to social media. But how are we changing it? How are we advocating against it? And then another thing that I love about the brand is that we don't just collect proceeds, we donate a lot of our proceeds to different organizations. So every month we do a report. So the ACLU, we have where we have stories, where your voices, and all these organizations who actually uplift the communities we're about. So we're not just like pocketing this, we're also giving back with these events and these panels and connecting people. And I was like, yo, that's my life work, that's what I want to be about. Because a lot of times like we talk about, oh, like I'm gonna make a t-shirt line and and then it's like, okay, so where is this going?
What's the purpose?
And that's what I was feeling with this whole, like, with this past Pride Month. Like, you know, like, as an ally, I'm seeing this, so this isn't my experience, but I'm, like, seeing an outside outside perspective. I'm like, so Vans and H&M and all them doing all this with this like Pride Month, and they featuring these like queer and trans people, but are y'all actually talking about what's going on, and are y'all actually putting that back?
They just want to make money off the whole purpose of it. Oh no, it's because it's Pride Month. Let me just collect a few coins.
That's exactly what they was doing.
It's crazy. And then you think about it, you're like, do people even know what's going on? Because you got so many like queer, like black and brown folk, and I always say it's because we always get left out the conversation.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it took Pose, like that show by Ryan Murphy, a white man, to create a show about these true stories.
Exactly.
For people to realize, oh, this is what they went through. You know what I mean? Because we all know somebody in our life that's like gay or trans or queer. You know what I mean? And so, but we never talk about it. Because again, that goes back to our community being like, oh, they just a little off, or they something like that.
Yeah.
And so to see like all these brands now like highlight it and make a profit off of it and capitalize off it, I'm like, yo, but you got so many of these like women out here getting murdered. You got so many of these people getting murdered, people getting beat up every day in these communities. So where's that money going? And there's so many like homeless like POCs because of their like sexual identity. I'm like, so what are y'all doing with this like $1 million you making from these damn flag shoes?
Yeah.
I just being so passionate. Sorry.
You are passionate. That's dope.
You have to like, no, on a serious note, I have an opportunity for you, and we're gonna talk after this.
Yes.
But no, on a serious note, like what I do with my Bad Moms vlog, you know, I kept saying I wanted to do it, but then, you know, I was letting things get in front of it, because sometimes with life it's hard to be consistent sometimes and do stuff like this, because you don't have a whole team of people. Sometimes it's just you. So with the Bad Moms vlog, I just wanted to tap into mothers, the whole mother community. And at times I still tell other women, you know, this is for women to watch too, because outside of me being a mom, I'm still a woman, period. But it's so people put it out like, you know, when you become a mom, you don't need to do nothing else besides be a mother. Have baby sucking on your titty all day, and if you in a relationship, after you done feeding the baby and doing everything for the baby, now you got to make sure your man's good. This, that, and the third. But it's never, when are you going to make sure you're good? When are you going to have time for you? When are you going to have time to cry, to think, to listen to music, or just to freaking sip tea in a corner? You know, when do you have that time for yourself? And it's like, when I wanted to start this, I was around a bunch of people who's doing the opposite of that. These are people who are just, you know, they're living regular lives and telling me, oh no, you don't need to do that, it's gonna distract you, and it's gonna take away from you being this, that, and the third. And it's like, no. And then I had to realize that before we can put stuff like this out, we actually have to walk these walks. We have to actually walk in these shoes. And sometimes it gets hard. It definitely does get hard, but you know, it's like certain conversations have to be had. We have to, it's like, it has to be real women empowerment, people empowerment, period. It has to be really there, because it's like, if it's not there, it's like, you know, we're just going to be putting people in these boxes and making people feel like, oh, I can't do nothing. It's just, oh, God, I hate it.
That's why I say, and then shifting to my brand, the Queen Sessions, we talk about postpartum depression. We talk about anxiety when raising your children, because when you have a kid, your issues just don't disappear. I feel they worsen because you don't have time. They worse because
you don't take care of it when you're a kid.
And that's transparency.
It's everything.
Transparency. And you have to be transparent with yourself. And then there was a quote, actually, that was, don't let somebody's fear give you advice. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we take advice from people who have never walked our shoes. They don't have any idea what God has put in for us. If you believe in God, you know.
I feel like that was a Karina quote. Always preaching about like she's always telling me to like just do the opposite of things, opposite of how I'm feeling. Like whenever I'm mad, she's like, think about all the things you need to be grateful for. And she's to take that. That's what I said.
That's good advice. We always look at like the negative, and that becomes the biggest thing. Where it's like, even me, I was like, at one point, I was like, dang, yo, because there was a time where I was like, dang, yo, ain't nobody really engaging with like the content. And then we were talking, and now we got almost like 8,000 followers on the page. And we like had all these pop-up shops in LA and Columbia fan base. And then the Queen Session started doing well too, and getting to meet you ladies. And I'm like, see, when you focus on that one negative, that controls your whole life.
It's a quote that I found where it says, here we go. And we keep the fears in we keep the losses in our heart, and we keep the wins in our pockets. And I'm like, that is so true, because whenever we as humans go through bad shit, we just always think about it. We let it just
stick to
eat
it.
at us. And then the wins, we only celebrate it for the moment. We don't keep talking about it. We don't keep celebrating it. And I feel like that's where we mess up as people. And we forget about, like, sometimes we'll just talk about empowering women and be more with the whole empowering black women and stuff like that. It's like we get so used to just saying it, and then we don't even realize that we're not living it. Like, we really have to walk in it. We really have to eat, breathe, and think it. And, sometimes you can't do that if you ain't right.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yo, and what's your support squad looking like? Who's your allies for you?
Period.
We can't just be like, women to each other. We need to include men in the conversation. And a lot of women be like, well, this ain't for men. No.
Everything
is for everybody.
We need to include the men.
Hello.
I'm sorry. Like, we need to include the men in these conversations. Who is your support squad? What are they doing, and how are they reflecting you? Because your friends are a reflection of you.
Yep.
We got friends from high school that are past versions of you. We got friends now in the present that are like the growth version of you. And then we got friends who are exceeding these amounts, who that's going to be the future version of you. You got to think about that.
That's good. Where you get these quotes from, girl?
From the heart, sis.
You
From the heart, sis.
I'm over here like, that's true. I'm thinking like, real.
That was dope though. I hope people get your petty.
Take the advice, yes. She's dropping gems right now.
Period. Oh my god, I like that.
I like to think of it as like, because I seem to handle losses like fairly well. Like, people don't really see me like struggle. I think they think that I'm like this
perfect.
I'm in a bubble. I'm like some Belina, just like all this sparkle. but I really like to think of my losses as like, this is just part of my story, and this is gonna empower somebody later. All these struggles that I went through in silence, people, I'll just be able to, when I make it, like when I really make it. Like, I'm on my way, but when I make it, I'll be like, yo, but you don't even understand. And it's just like, and I'm like, I just envision myself just crying, like, yo, you don't even know. You
don't be understand with Oprah, like,
It was a journey.
It was hard. It was hard.
Everything is just like, oh, this happened, but that's all right. It's gonna be part. It's just part of my story. Like
what Cardi said: fall down 9, get up 10 times.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's like the Bible said. Okay? That's the Bible.
At least we know she related. Shout out to Cardi. She got people up here understanding elections and stuff.
You know what?
Use your platform for good.
That's one thing I can say about Cardi. People could sit there and try to come at the way she speak, how she came up, the lifestyle she used to live, but you can't downplay that glow. You cannot. Like, that glow up is like goals. For real, like I look at Cardi's
so hard. She come up with a new song every day.
Yeah,
every day,
and it's on the charts.
Yeah, all on the radio.
And that's like, think of how many L's she had to take. Because we thought Forever was gonna break it. Remember when Forever came out?
That was my shit.
Yeah, but it did it. It didn't hit.
It's gonna be Forever. For her song Forever.
First mixtape.
Ran down on that chick twice.
And look, if she looked at it like, damn, people don't even like F with me, then where would she be now? Like, she's like, no, let me just keep working. Let me keep working.
Consistency.
Get into every bag there is, like.
That Bodak Yellow did it.
And look, if she had listened to DJ Self,
I would still be on Love and Hip Hop.
DJ Self, she would have been like,
because all them females, DJ Self was helping. Where they at?
I mean, Dream Doll's doing a little aight.
Okay, let's get into the next question. Let's get into some music.
Which one is Dream Doll? I'm so confused. Which one is Dream Doll? It's Asian Doll, Cash Doll. Like, I support all women rappers, but y'all need different names. Like Lil Uzi, Lil Bow Wow.
Baby.
It's like 6
to them. It's like
So I was like, what baby is what?
Little baby and baby. I'm like, which one is Lil Wayne? Wait. Because I know he a baby too. I don't know.
Weezy and baby,
Little Tucci. I don't know. I can't keep up. No. But anyway, speaking about DJs that matter. You used to write for DJ Enuff and Funk Flex. I don't even know how you did this. I don't know how you got on that platform. Teach me. But on their blog sites, you used to write for them. So how has your past experience helped you with that opportunity?
Ooh, child. No, much love to Flex and his team. For Enuff, I still do write-ups here and there. I'm still Unique, who's like his assistant and the manager of the blog, and some of the other women, like they're really great mentors. But with Flex, so what happened was, this is a crazy story. So I moved here and fresh out of college, was working at Urban Outfitters overnight job. I was like, I got a college degree. I don't want to do this no more. Because I'm coming from Vegas, and you like, you know, you come in, you taking this risk on your life. And then so I had a mentor named Marissa Mendez who pushed me to intern for Hot 97. I actually graduated college because you got to still be in college. So I kind of like was like, no, I'm still in college. And so then I met Flex, and he's actually a really dope man and really like cool, because he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to do personality. Like, I want to do media stuff. And he was like, okay, so you're going to learn the boards. And I was like, what? And then so I would stay overnight with him, because he does the 7 to 12 a.m. shift. And then so I was learning the boards from his like team, like Triple Threat and all of them. And then so I got in contact with Tat, who's his producer. And I was telling Tat, like, no, I want to write, you know, I want to do all these things. And he was like, okay, so we'll see. And never heard from them.
This is a small world.
You know Tat too?
Yeah, I know Tat. He gonna watch this and be like, look at Autumn and Bree. That's crazy. He be
like, all these crazy women together. And so Tat needed a summer jam writer, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do it. I want to get out there. And then so after harassing him, because you have to harass these people, because
yes, you
they are, it's not because they're fickle, it's because like we are in this things happen culture, so you're like easily 5 seconds like forgotten. And so consistency, you know, going back to that conversation. And then so when I did that summer jam, and then I did social media for him for a little bit, but then I had to stop because, you know, finances and everything like that. And so what happened next was that I was like, hey, like, I want to keep writing about music. Like, I love hip hop, I love culture. I wrote for Afro Punk, Elite Daily, Black Sports Online. Like, hip hop, R&B, music, and culture is like my passion. Right. And so I reached out to Enuff's team, because Enuff was also a really dope person, and Unique, who's like a mentor to me still. She let me know. She was like, hey, so do you want to write and everything like that? And I was like, yes, of course. Or actually, I reached out to her first, and then she reminded me, and I was like, yeah, of course. And then she got me set up. She showed me the ropes, and I wrote for DJ Enuff for like a year. I did like one on-camera interview. I still do stuff for him to this day. And then now I'm like doing other things with that because of the growth and what's happened. And that led me to like working with making my own brands and understanding the more like back ends of owning your own brand and business and media. And then also just working with AHUS and understanding the whole media concept, because I'm actually a digital marketing specialist.
Oh, okay.
So that's my actual career. So I've been fortunate enough to have all that experience that brought me into digital marketing with my degree and everything, and then also continue to understand the media world. So it's been dope, and it's been a crazy ride. And for people who are like, oh, how do you do this and this and this? It's like, you have to be consistent. You have to like understand criticism. I'm a Scorpio, so I try not to let my emotions get to me, because I tried not to internalize everything, and now I'm like at this growth period where I'm like, yo, it wasn't like an emotional perspective, that was a business perspective. And you have to understand that like not everything you write is gonna be hot shit.
Period. That's
you
true.
need Grammarly, download your Grammarly, take writing classes. I'm actually going back to take more writing classes because I want to get strong in my writing. One day I want to write scripts and like media stuff, you know what I mean? And don't ever allow yourself to be told no and let it be there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna hear a bunch of no's.
That's right.
Trust. One is not to listen. I heard a few.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
You know,
back
you
to
just
back.
for this industry, you do have to have thick skin. Because if you don't, you're gonna. Or my thing is, if you want to cry, have your poker face on for the moment, then go to the bathroom, cry, and then come back and you a different person.
Right. And don't let them see you cry.
Yep.
Do not. I remember, this is a crazy story. I'm not going to share names. But there was like these women and they had to pull me aside because like this football player that was also from Vegas, he was like, yo, take a picture of me, da-da-da. And it was like all friendly stuff. But the way that it was like received from an outside perspective, it seemed like a groupie. And then so even though I have the most innocent intentions and everything like that, you know what I mean? Because I love talking to anyone. Like, y'all know if that's how I met y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they were like, you got to be careful because, you know, a lot of men won't take you serious and this if you do these things. And then I was so angry. I'm like, I was 21.
Oh, yeah.
I was angry. I was like, no, y'all don't know what I've been through. Like, I moved all the way out here from Vegas. But I didn't say all this. I'm like internalizing and I start to cry. And they were like, oh, like they were shook. Because again, I guess in New York, that's the whole New York thing. You know, you don't really like show emotions, and so I had a whole mini breakdown. And then they pulled me aside. I was like, no, like you just like you're beautiful and you're sweet, but dudes will take advantage of that, and you need to understand that, especially in this media game. Yeah, and that was like a lesson learned right then and there. And understand like not everyone's out to attack you.
Exactly.
Understand the lessons being learned. Yeah.
That's like my therapist. She taught me. I told her, I said, you know, sometimes I be around and I got my little. She's like, maybe you shouldn't look like that, Brittany, because you're putting up that you're blocked, like you're not letting nobody in, and that's why people is not gonna wanna. And I said, oh, maybe that's why when I go out, I be looking good and I don't bag nobody. I be like, am I ugly or something?
No,
but then
girl.
she said you put up a real protective aura.
Yeah.
And I'm
you don't want nobody to fuck with you. That's how you're supposed to be, though. Anyway,
that's what I was thinking.
Don't come to me with no trash,
that's
though.
a New York state of mind. That is not.
I mean, that's how you raised. You don't go anywhere just like I'm
In
friendly,
New York.
so I'm gonna go where I'm gonna always go places, smiling, doing stuff like that. But you still gotta have that like. Nah,
You ain't gonna come in with no trash.
Once you
Keep
leave New
it
York,
a
people ain't like
distance.
that. Like it's like real mellow. Like everybody
like
like
if you go in show, everybody outside they're so happy.
Legit.
So don't even say nothing to me.
Yeah, that's just so New York. Don't judge me, y'all. Listen. If you ever see me in the street, say hi, please. If I'm looking like that, that's my resting bitch face. Like
RBF.
don't judge me, like you know. But oh my God, this interview is going so well.
Oh, thank
it's
you.
like you're like one of the girls with the girls.
Yeah, it's just be connected.
Like I do love this. So what can we expect for you from you for 2019? Like what do you have working on? What's to be expected? Any more panel events? And you invite me to so much stuff, but every time you invite me, I always got the baby, and I'm like, Nova, you gotta give me over so you can come with me.
Sometimes you can just leave the baby with me.
Okay, so she.
Or at least let
We
me know
heard.
the
We got
event.
confirmation.
So
You heard how she ain't say nothing. She was like, "That ain't my
I
child."
always have my brother. I'm always babysitting all the time. Like I don't even
I'm
want
babysitting
kids.
after I leave here.
I don't even want kids.
That's why I moved so far from my family. As soon as I got my license, it was a wrap. I was
Yeah.
like 19, taking kids everywhere. I was like,
Are
damn.
you a mom?
No.
okay.
I'm just an old big sister. I've been
That's
raising
me.
because my parents they would work. My mom was an overnight nurse, and my dad he had 2 jobs at one point because we just moved to Vegas in the suburbs. And people think when you move to suburbs you make it. Like you still gotta work extra hard to keep what you got.
Exactly.
And so I was 12 years old making macaroni, cheese, and chicken nuggets, like making sure homework was done. So when people be like, "You don't want kids," I'm like, "Yo, I raised kids. Let me take my time."
That's
Yeah, and I got a beautiful nephew, and that's it. So
These nephews are our kids, though.
Yeah.
Nah, these and a nephew and
he in
another
Vegas,
on
he
the
good.
way.
You got another on the way.
Not me.
Your sister,
And
your
niece
sister,
on the
brother.
way. My sister's having a girl.
Oh,
And I have my
congratulations.
nephew from my brother and my niece from the same sister. It's a lot.
She says a lot.
But you know, I like them together because then I do less work.
Yeah.
They just
No,
entertain
for
each
it,
other.
exactly.
Oh, I love it.
I'm telling you.
So what are you doing like for the
Yeah,
rest of the
2019, rest of the year?
6 months?
So I am doing more stuff with the Queen Sessions. We're gonna be doing more segments and like on-camera interviews and specials like that. What are we doing for AHUS? We're gonna be doing more pop-up shops and events. We're planning out some more stuff for late fall. I'm launching merch for the Queen Sessions, so y'all can be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
We'll be at some more art shows. I'm gonna be on more women empowerment panels, and hopefully get to speak with you ladies more soon.
Yes, you
So,
will.
Yes, we definitely gonna need.
You gotta
have
invite
you back.
us.
all day.
we're having
even a woman
the women
empowerment.
Oh yeah,
we are.
Let
You
me
definitely have to
know.
be there.
in September.
Yes, I can't wait for that. We
Networking
definitely-
event, all that, on media.
It's gonna be a good
business.
panel.
Yeah, I love networking events.
Yeah, me too. You definitely learn the most from them too.
That's facts. But and then you got to make sure you have like inspirational people there because people just be wanting to go to networking events just to party and bull
Yup.
crap. But no, you
For the
really
free
need
food.
to
What
work.
y'all got open.
That's so ratchet.
My
Child.
thing, and before we go, I want to say this: like, when you have friends who are trying to do something, stop asking for freebies.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
trying.
a big thing.
I asked for discounts.
You ask for discounts.
Let me get the friends and family.
And tickets are $10. Why you asking for $5 tickets?
Because I'm special.
No, I understand that part. That's different. Just like
So you gonna keep that same energy with our event, right? You gonna let people ask for discounts? You gonna cover the rest of the discount?
Karina, shut up.
Because they gonna have to pay. Y'all gotta pay the full thing.
People don't remember that. We're
not trying to work corporate media forever.
All right. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that
We
for the
pay
rest
for
of the
them. You gotta pay
2019.
for all that, so we
Exactly.
gonna
We
need
ain't trying to work corporate or these like service jobs forever.
Nobody's 9 to 5.
I'm just trying to get my health benefits.
That's it. That's all I want.
health
That's all I
benefits.
want. I want y'all to pay for my health, and that's it.
And
then-
vacation days.
Yeah,
I get paid
that's
to be on
it, that's
vacation.
it, and then I'm good.
But yeah.
But no, thank you.
Thank you,
boo.
ladies.
You are so pretty. You have a beautiful
Y'all
soul.
beautiful. Thank you.
You're amazing. And that's Autumn Myers. That's
Where can they follow
Yeah.
you at on IG real quick?
Okay, so you can follow me personally at ITS Autumn M. You can follow America Hates Us at America Hates Us and the Queen Sessions at the Queen Sessions.
Period.
And there you have it. It's the girls' room.
See it all.
Here at the girls' room. Hey, fuck it up. Ew. Fuck it up, bitch. Fuck it up, sis.
At the girls' room. At the girls' room. At the girls' room. At the girls' room. At the girls' room.